Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back in with you guys for another episode of our Eyes of the Opposition series. Of course, showing which we get the perspective of an opposition fan, journalist, writer or personality, or basically anyone who is in the know about the opposition teams that Arsenal will be facing in their upcoming fixture. And this week we return for our second game of the season in the League Cup. Of course, we beat quite easily Nottingham Forest 5-0. Which was, well, I thought things may turn around for the team, even naively thinking it was even the second team that might turn things around, but it wasn't to be. And now Arsenal face a completely different scenario in the European champions Liverpool, very early on in a cup competition to face one of the big teams, but that's who we've been drawn against. And it's a really, really intriguing game because you can't just simply write this one off, not like when we play Liverpool in the league, where it's fair to say they've had one on us for quite a while now, but two teams which have a fair amount of depth to them, a fair amount of players which don't see regular game time in the Premier League, which will hopefully be getting minutes against one of the top sides in the Premier League in a cup fixture, which is really, really intriguing. And this week, I'm very happy to be once again joined. He joined us earlier on in the season for our league preview, but Ste Hoare from Redmen TV, Managing Director of Fresh Press UK. Please go check him out at Ste Hoare on Twitter. And he's joined me to discuss everything. Now, before we get into sort of talking about the Liverpool game itself, I was sort of interested to get Ste's thoughts on a really current issue going on at the moment. Now, earlier on today, I uploaded a video with a live Raw reaction show with our live chat discussing sort of the booing that's been going on around the Emirates, especially relating to Granit Xhaka, which you can, of course, still go check out on the channel. But I want to get Ste's thoughts on this and what he thinks as an outside fan, as a supporter of another rival team in the Premier League, how he sees this sort of situation. So, Ste, what are your thoughts on the Granit Xhaka situation, and how do you think it's sort of influencing the perception of Arsenal right now?
First of all, I think it's wrong to boo your own players. I don't think you should ever boo your own players, especially an individual. Sometimes at the end of a game, fans might boo the whole team if there's been a bad performance, but to boo a guy as he's being subbed off, I don't really agree with. His reaction was poor and he shouldn't have done that, but I can kind of understand why he did it. It's the thing with Arsenal at the moment, there seems to be a lot of vitriol around Arsenal, and that's quite new for me, because Arsenal, when I was growing up, especially through the Wenger area, we're almost the models of professionalism, and I include the fan base in that as well. You know, I went to Highbury a few times where Liverpool were beating Arsenal and Arsenal would come back, and the fans never really got on the players' back even when they were losing. Yet this Arsenal culture at the moment seems very, very different, doesn't it? Again, it was only, a year ago I remember watching Arsenal when the fans were in love with Unai Emery, singing, you know, we've got our Arsenal back, I think was the term. Fast forward 12 months and it's, you know, he's getting stick, the club captain's getting stick, there's the vitriol inside that stadium, and it's doing nobody any favours. You know, in fact, the only people that are doing favours are Arsenal's rivals, who will be, you know, capitalising on, you know, draws at home against Crystal Palace and what have you. So, yeah, listen, I'm not one to tell other fans what they should and shouldn't be doing, because everyone's got their own choice, everyone pays their money, but I do think it's wrong to abuse your own players, and I can see why Xhaka reacted in the way he did. I don't condone it, but it is kind of understandable when you're getting that much stick, and he is trying his best. I don't think he's the best player in the world, and he probably isn't good enough to play for Arsenal. He's definitely not good enough to be the Arsenal captain, but he doesn't pick himself and he doesn't make himself captain. The manager and the players made those choices collectively, and what I do think about Xhaka is he does try his best. He is giving it his all. Again, if that's not good enough, then so be it, but I don't think that he should be getting booed like the way he did.
Really interesting stuff, getting the thoughts of Ste in terms of how the outside are looking at Arsenal right now, and it's not pretty. It really isn't. It's not a nice sort of place to be as an Arsenal fan, and I thought of that was sort of encapsulating what Ste said there. Now, straight into the game then, and focusing on Arsenal's trip to Anfield in the League Cup. It's an intriguing fixture, as I've already mentioned, and I really, really want to know how you expect Liverpool to sort of approach this game. Will we see the likes of Mane, Salah and Sterling, or do you think Liverpool are going to sort of use this competition as a bit of an extra, as we'll put it, as they try and focus on winning that first Premier League title for such a heavy long time?
Yeah, the Carabao Cup is very much the least of Liverpool's priorities, if I'm honest. We used the last round against MK Dons to give lads who hadn't played much, give them a game, and also blood some young players, and that'll be the same. I don't even think it would change if Liverpool get to the next round. Maybe if you get to a semi-final, that could change, because obviously the competition's then there to be won, but it is very much fourth priority, and it is essentially about giving guys a game, so which is which is why I would quite like Liverpool to to do well in the competition, just because there are players who need more minutes and who aren't really going to get them unless injuries or suspensions hit. So it's important to keep players taking over, because you never know when you're going to need them. But like I say, Liverpool got bigger fish to fry than the Carabao Cup this year.
Now, when it comes to B teams or second strings, Arsenal's sort of a very established one right now, with the likes of Martinelli, with the likes of Mustafi getting in there, Rob Holding, Bellerin, Tierney, although he played in the Premier League on the weekend, maybe that means Kolasinac will come in, Joe Willock. Some of these youngsters have really impressed for this second string side, but I'm really sort of out of the know in terms of Liverpool and the players that they want. I know the likes of Joe Gomez and Lovren aren't really getting too many minutes, but what other players are in this Liverpool setup that are going to feature in this cup fixture?
I don't think it will be that dissimilar to the team that played against MK Dons. Obviously, there's a few injuries and such. I do think the recent news that Joel Matip is going to be out for a month to 6 weeks does change things, because Klopp will now have to look after his centre-back. So I'm pretty sure Dejan Lovren and Joe Gomez would have played this game. But with the news that Matip is now out for a while, I think Klopp will probably protect one of those. So you might see someone like a young Sepp Vandenberg, the guy we signed in the summer, get a game. In terms of who won't play, I don't think Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho, Henderson, Salah, Firmino, Mane, I don't think any of those will even be in the squad. In terms of who will be involved, I'd expect the likes of Adam Lallana, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita, three guys who need minutes coming back from various injuries rather. I imagine they'll play. I imagine we might see James Milner at right back, just for that little bit of experience and to captain the team. And then youngsters such as Larouci, Harvey Elliott, Rhian Brewster, maybe Curtis Jones. So I do think it's going to be a mix of players who need games and then the young lads. And that was what we did in the last round, and I imagine that's what will happen here.
Now, I of course want to know what you're expecting from this game in terms of rotation. Do you expect to see heavy rotation, or do you expect to see the flow of sort of how the form has gone in the Premier League really sort of dampen in this fixture, and what sort of a bitty game sort of commence? Or do you expect there actually to be that carried on form from the Premier League and it to be a bit of a walk in the park?
I think it's always quite difficult to realise try and predict rather what's going to happen in League Cup games, because both sides often make so many changes that it can often feel a bit disjointed, and there's players who've never really played in the same team together or haven't got no rhythm of playing, and that goes for the opposition as well, so it's hard to plan what the opposition are going to do. In terms of the game itself, well, to be honest, Arsenal have turned up at Anfield in recent years and kind of been Liverpool's whipping boys. You know, in the Premier League games, Liverpool have been comfortable winners in pretty much all of those games over the recent years. I can't imagine this will be the same. Like I say, it's going to be a different Liverpool team, it's going to be a different Arsenal team. Again, Liverpool might win. They're probably going to be quite slight favourites to win, being at home. But I don't see it being that type of game where Liverpool just run through Arsenal like they have done in the league, just because there's going to be so many players missing and it's going to be so different. And again, Arsenal are going to be so different as well, so it's going to be hard for Liverpool to really pinpoint any weaknesses that we've done in the past.
Now, it always boils down to that all-important final question, which is the prediction, and sort of getting to know of what you think that the scoreline is going to be. Is it going to be a tight, close game, one goal here or there? Could it even go to penalties, or is it going to be once again another Liverpool whitewash? Please let me know.
Honestly, this could be anything, because it's so hard, isn't it, without knowing team news or who's going to be in and who not. I actually think the game's going to be a draw and go to penalties, and I think Liverpool will sneak through on penalties. Just again, I think it's going to be a disjointed game, maybe a 1-1. Glad that there's no extra time. Liverpool don't need extra time at this moment with other games and other competitions to focus on. So I'm going to say 1-1 with Liverpool going through after the penalty shootout.
So there you have it, everything that you need to know ahead of Arsenal's trip to Anfield in the League Cup. In the comment box below, please tell me what your prediction is ahead of this game. Do you think that Arsenal have got a chance with both sort of second string sides being fielded, or once again, do you think Liverpool are going to have definitely the more of the advantage in this game? A huge thanks to Ste Hoare once again for jumping onto the channel and giving his thoughts from a Red Men TV perspective of things. I'm sure that you will go check out some fantastic stuff that he's got going on. You can also even write for his website, which is the Read series at Fresh Press UK. I've definitely published a few decent articles for them over at Read Arsenal, so if you want to get involved with their writing, you can go do that over there. But check him out on Twitter at Ste Hoare. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, please drop a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new, and you can get involved with some of our live shows as well. There'll be a live Raw reaction show straight after the Liverpool game. So turn those notifications on so you can get told when we go live and when you can get involved in some of our shows. I'll see you again very, very soon. Fingers crossed for this game. And as always, up the Arsenal.